Hey everyone, my name is Bryon Howard. I'm a Calgary realtor who has sold an average of a house a week since moving to this great city in 2003. And this is Calgary Living, Real Estate and Lifestyle. I'm interviewing Calgary's top performers as it relates to living and lifestyle in our great city. Some of the podcasts will be real estate decisions specific, but most will be about life in Calgary and why we choose to live here, or at least why you should visit. Thanks for tuning in. Folks, welcome to another edition of Living in Calgary. I'm your host, Bryon Howard, and today on the show, we have the great pleasure of welcoming Grace Yan, mayoral candidate for Calgary. Welcome to the show, Grace.
Thanks for having me, Bryon. This is exciting.
It is exciting. Grace, I believe you're in my phone as a contact. You're a realtor. I think you're coming from that background. You have a team, and I'm a realtor, and I think we've no doubt communicated in the past years on business-related matters. This is the first time we actually get to meet sort of in person. Zoom feels in person to me these days. In the last 18 months, I've become quite accustomed to it, and I think that we can make some great connections. Grace, you're running to be the leader of our city on October 18th.
Yes, I mean that's the goal, and we're going strong, and it's happening.
That's fantastic, and I think it's graceformayor.com. That's GRACE 4mayor.com. Is that correct?
No, it's Grace Yan
Grace Yan.
or FORmayor.com.
Oh, okay. I remember a 4 in there. Okay, well, thanks. Well, we'll include all those notes in the show notes as well. Grace, tell us a little bit about, again, this is more about a lifestyle in Calgary and, sort of real estate. So you're a fine person to have on the show. Tell us a little bit about your Calgary experience. Are you a born and bred Calgarian? How did you happen to come to Calgary?
So my parents immigrated to Canada in 1975. So, of course, I'm old. I'm really, really old. Bryon.
No, you're not. I know that.
I think so. So my parents actually first moved to Edmonton, and it was minus 35 degrees with snow over our heads. And of course, coming from the Philippines, I was born in Manila, Philippines. We've never seen snow, and my mom said we almost go back on that plane, and we lived in Edmonton for about a while, and then, we moved to Calgary. I grew up here, and so went to elementary, junior high, high school, went to Mayoral University, and then moved back to Edmonton for a bit to go back to school, and then moved again back to Calgary. So, I spent most of my life in Calgary. So lived, worked, learned, and played here.
What do you love most about Calgary? What is it that, you're loving about Calgary?
I think, it's the land of opportunity here. We came here because our relatives were here. And I asked, being in real estate, we work with people from all walks of life. We work with people from all over the world. And I asked them, why Calgary? And a lot of them say, because of the education, the education system here, and also the opportunity to be able to have your own business. And there's just so much opportunity that we have here in Calgary. And also the community itself. It's safe. We've got a great education system. Housing prices are very low compared to other parts of the country. And there's lots of opportunities.
Fantastic. What is it that you don't like about Calgary?
I think, for me, there's a lot that's why I'm, stepping up to be mayor, to be part of the solution, to sit down. Sure, we can talk about solutions all day long, but for me, it's about producing positive results. Okay. And hearing from various businesses, big and small, and hearing from Calgarians in all walks of life, what they want to see to make Calgary, the best place to live and the place they can be proud of. And that's speaking to the youth and the seniors. So, one thing is obviously transportation. And, people that move here, and Bryon, you hear it. People that move here, they say, "Oh my God, you need a car to get around this place,"
Mhm. Yeah.
because we need an effective and efficient transportation system so that the youth and the seniors can move around efficiently, safely.
Mhm. Okay, fantastic. And you know, tell me a little bit about lots of times in the show I talk about real estate, and obviously you're in real estate, and I think that's how you make your living. I think that's your profession. Is that your primary profession? And well, tell me about your interest in real estate. How did you maybe tell some of your own maybe actually your parents as new immigrants, or I guess your and their interest in real estate and how they've done, and tell me a little bit of how you became involved in real estate and what some of your experiences in real estate sort of have included. I mean, I'm looking for the success stories, which people share freely, but not necessarily all the success stories. In Calgary, we have our boom and bust cycles. And as a realtor, I know lots of people that have been affected by that. And I'm sure you've seen it too, Grace. How about your own experience?
I've been licensed for over 12 years. And I started in real estate because I had my own real estate. I had my own revenue properties. And I started in it because I was selling some of my real estate. So, you hire a realtor, and it didn't, it was a realtor that advertised heavily, that you thought they were running for mayor. Okay. But there's a big budgets for advertising and marketing. So I thought, okay, that's great. That's the person I'll use. And 3 months went by and nothing happened. And there were revenue properties, and there was tenants there, and it was frustrating for my tenants because this particular agent wasn't communicating properly, and there'd be showings. I mean, they're in the shower, and so it was not good. And so then it expired. And so I thought, you know what? I want to just try. I wasn't licensed, but I was a paralegal. I thought, you know what? I'm going to try and do this myself. And so I sold them all. I had 3. I sold them all myself in 2 weeks. I back ran way back, olden days. You put ads in the Calgary Herald or the Calgary Sun.
Uh-huh.
And that's all I did. I just put these ads out. I'm not even a realtor. And I thought, oh, well, that was easy. Well, I'm going to be a license. And back then, it's not, the system or the program what isn't as extensive it is now, right? Mm-hmm. So, you're licensed. I was able to challenge the exam back then. I was a paralegal.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is way back, like way were.
Wait a second. I think of it 12 years ago is kind of yesterday, but that really shows how old I am.
You're just a young guy, Bryon, compared to me. But I know you've been in this forever. But so of course I was licensed. And then you're so excited you're licensed, and you think everyone's going to call you. All your friends and everybody, they're going to know you're a realtor. They're just going to call you. And of course that doesn't happen, right? Actually, people avoid you. And so you know what? I just worked hard. And back then, it was easier to do real estate. The rules were different with for sale by owners, and so it was a lot easier to do real estate back then. And so my first month in real estate, because I didn't know what was normal, I just worked hard. Right, I closed 14 deals my first month.
Your first month, 14 deals. That's amazing.
And I thought that was normal. I thought everybody did.
It's your job, right?
Well, why would you do this if you didn't close 14 deals a month?
Yeah.
That was my first month. And then, of course, my broker is saying, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean? Isn't this normal?" And, he says, "Well, no. People don't do this in a year."
Lots of people don't do it in a year.
And I thought, oh, well, you know what? But I just worked hard, and of course, I knew my staff. My background was paralegal. So contracts were very easy for me. And it's just about, knowing your product, and it's doing what you say you're going to do. My business just built up, and then now it was all just, all referrals. And then eventually I transitioned into just commercial. Yeah.
Excellent. And then how about the boom bust economy at Calgary? How have you been impacted or affected by that? Or do you save for a rainy day yourself?
Well, I think, with the boom and bust, as long as you maintain, you have to treat it like any other business. Okay. You have to have a plan in place, processes in place. Okay. So that, people are always moving in and out. People are always shifting. But, obviously there's over 5,000 realtors in the city. So you have to differentiate yourself. What value you bring to the table, what value, knowledge, and experience. Okay. And there's very few realtors that have that. Okay. But once you've established that, your plan and knowing your stuff, and then we have referrals, then it's not difficult. You can just get steady, business.
Let's shift more, Grace, into a mayoral campaign. I'm intrigued. I'm interested in this race, really, or what it is. What do you believe the primary role of the mayor is?
For me, the mayor, it's really to look out for Calgarians. Look out for what's best for Calgary. Okay, and that means resurrecting the economy and supporting and creating a business-friendly environment in order that these businesses can create jobs. Because right now, 370,000 Calgarians live on or below the poverty level. So we need to get people back to work, and then that will help with the social economic issues, because during the pandemic, there was an increase in mental illness, domestic violence, suicides, addictions. So we really do need to get people back to work.
Fantastic. And so for you, the people of Calgary have just said, yes, we want Grace as our mayor. October 18th. Now it's October 19th. You had a night of celebrations. It's the first day in the office. Who are you calling in first? Who are some of your first meetings with?
Well, we have to first look at the whole picture of what we need to do to, live within our budget here in the city. Look at the projects that are constantly ongoing, taking forever. The arena, $620 million, seats 18,000 people, a little heavy. I don't know if you've seen what the arena looks like.
No.
It looks like a library. Okay. But we're not allowed to call it a library. We're not allowed to call it an arena. It's an event center.
Okay.
But we mean an arena that's monumental and iconic, that Calgarians can say, wow, we are proud of that arena, and that symbolizes Calgary, right? So that's one project, and another project is the rail line, right? 20 kilometers. It's going to take 6 years. 6 years, and $5.5 billion for 20 kilometers. Okay.
Is it too much money?
It seems okay. Well, let's. I
have no idea.
So this, I always sort of look at other successful cities. Okay, Bryon. So there is going to be a bullet train from Las Vegas to LA. It's going to be 270 kilometers through a mountain at $5.5 billion. Mind you, this plan,
Build
in 3 years to build. 3.
Oh my God, are we retarded?
And they think that's way too long. They're going to try and do it faster, and no public money. Okay?
Wow.
So here we're at 20 kilometers. We're not a bullet train. It's a sea train. And it's going to take 6 years. So I think people just want to see transparency. Where's the money going? Okay? We just want accountability.
Mhm.
And because 5.5 billion is a little heavy, you know, when you do the conversion from the bullet train, the 26 million a kilometer, our 20 kilometers should be 520 million. So where's the other 5 billion? It's just the transparency is what Calgarians, we just need to know.
Interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Question on transportation and that. One of my friends on social media asked a question, and they wanted to know if they were. How do you feel about transit? Should transit be free for students from, say, kindergarten to university?
You know what? That will definitely help. Okay. If transit is a little lower cost, that will help the youth and the seniors get around the city because it's a challenge right now. I mean, it's a challenge as it is. You have to drive to the station. Okay. And these bus stops are not really accessible. And it's awesome, but they built these heated enclosures, these heated bus enclosures. Have you seen them, right?
Yes. Yeah.
They're nice, right? They're nice. Except I'm not sure who did the study for it because you'll see all these people at a bus stop, there's no enclosure. And then the one within enclosure, there's nobody there. So, you know, I'm not sure who was engaged to figure out where these heated enclosures went.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing I'm hearing is they're not in the right places. So we need proper engagement and obviously it helps to reduce and to me, you have to lower the cost to help the youths and seniors get around or people even,
Mhm.
you know, to reduce, if not even free transit for everybody.
Very good. Another listener asked the question: how will you ensure that Calgary plays its part regarding emission reduction and the clearly critical net zero target? Any thoughts on that, Grace?
Well, again, you know, efficient transportation system will do that.
Mm-hmm.
And engaging the right organizations and, you know, mobilizing all the sectors for Calgary, divided. And it's important that, you know, all sectors are, you know, collaborate and communicate.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we'll achieve success in any of these topics.
Fantastic. And do you believe there's any value in, well, there's another last question. Do you believe there's any value in having a mayor travel outside of our city, province, and country?
Well, of course, we need to. So I need to go to Silicon Valley and let them know that we are wide open for business. And we have 40% vacancy in our towers downtown that need to be filled. I'd like to see like a Google data center in our Calgary Herald building that has been vacant forever. Our weather is conducive to data centers. Okay, that in itself, they save on energy costs and never, you know, and there's so much else they can benefit, like our healthcare. I mean, it's not the greatest in the world, but it's still better than what's existing over there in the US. But yeah, I need to be there and face to face telling these companies that, yeah, we're wide open for business.
Awesome. Is there a reasonable, sensible alternative to market value assessment?
Or
we're talking about taxes. I guess maybe residential, but I mean, you have your own experience in commercial real estate. I understand like commercial taxes downtown went up like hundreds, thousands of percentages in the past 10 years. Is there any reasonable alternative to that? Like market value assessment?
We need to reduce those business taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Ratios are not working. So obviously when I'm in office is I can look at the whole picture and see what we want to do because it is affecting the businesses that they're moving out of downtown specifically. And and the pandemic on top of it, 60% of businesses shut down. The ratio is not working, so we really need to be a business friendly. We need to create this business friendly environment, right? In order that, because people just need to get back to work, they need to create the jobs. I can't create the jobs. Businesses create jobs. We currently have 18,000 people employed by the city of Calgary. I think that we can use existing resources to, increase efficiencies and have better systems, cut the red tape, eliminate barriers, so that it will also help developers. Time and money.
Mhm. Excellent. Grace, okay, and I want to be conscious of your time and our listeners' time. And so just a final kind of few questions. What languages do you speak?
So I speak English, Canadian,
I get that.
and Tagalog, which is Philippine.
Super. Have you been back to the Philippines in your life? I guess
Um,
lots or
Oh, many times. So my parents own properties there and lots and lots of family in the Philippines. So back and forth many, many times. And, well, with the pandemic now, it's limited, but I love the Philippines.
Mhm. No, I will get there, and I love our Filipino community here in Calgary, and you as a people, you service and so many, and the more I sort of get to know this community, the more I appreciate it and feel how strong it is in Calgary. Eh?
Oh, yeah, we're the biggest Asian community, 75,000 people.
Wow, that's fantastic. Grace, this one will probably be relatively easy for you. It's a little bit of a fun and trick question. I want to ask you to name 3 communities in each quadrant of the city, starting, let's say, with the Northwest. Name 3 communities.
Oh, well, that's easy. Edgemont, Hawkwood, Ranchlands. Okay.
Exactly. Should we do that for the Northeast?
Sure. Marlborough, Forest Lawn, and Marlborough, Forest Lawn, and
Saddle Ridge. Okay, well, I'm going to give you a hint. Taradale. How about Taradale? And you know what? Forest Lawn, I thought was in the Northeast. It actually isn't. It's just south of Memorial Drive.
Lovely. Yeah, see, it's tricky.
It is a little tricky there. Name 3 communities in the Southeast.
So, well, we can say Applewood, right? Douglasdale, and New Britain.
These are tricky questions. Okay, last quadrant of our city, the Southwest. Give us 3 communities.
Braeside, Evergreen, Bridlewood.
Thank you so much. That's fun. Meant to be fun. I'm not sure. I think it's a little tricky, actually.
Well, you know what? If you're not real estate savvy, you wouldn't know.
Not necessarily. Yeah, I think it's not really a fair question. One of my sort of politically astute friends in social media have given me these questions, and a lot of these questions. So anyway, that's why I ask. I don't think I'll continue on with that vein though, in terms, because it's a little tricky. I think even for me as a realtor for the last 20 years.
You should do it. You should do it.
I should do it. You think I should? Okay. Yes. I will continue it. It's nice to stump you guys a little bit. But Grace, if you had a billboard, I guess kind of finishing off here, how do people reach you? We always covered that a little bit in the front. If you had an ask of our city, our Calgary citizens, what would the ask be? And maybe we can tie that into maybe you have a billboard maybe coming into each quadrant of the city. What would the billboard say?
Well, I do have the most billboards out there, actually. I have the most signs out there.
Grace for Mayor, is it?
Yeah, the Grace for Mayor, or Mayor for all Calgarians.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can reach my team. Where I had a volunteer event last week, just a volunteer appreciation. We have over 50 volunteers, but you know what? The more volunteers we have, we welcome people that want to volunteer for our team, and also donations. Donations is an important part of campaigning, and just the support. If you want to sign on your lawn, if you go on my website, order a sign. But those are the 3 ways that you can actually show your support for me.
Terrific. Well, Grace, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm excited and looking forward to October 18th count when everyone in Calgary says, yes, Grace for Mayor.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. That is very, very exciting.
Okay, we'll be tuning in on your campaign as we move forward. And once again, I want to thank you for being on the show, Grace Yan.
Thanks, Bryon.
Thanks much.